Jack is heartbroken when he finds the DNA results in Diane's room. Whose child is Kyle? That was the mean part of the whole thing. If he had gone directly to the study of walking around the hallway, if he had not been drawn to Diane by that old feeling he always had for her, things might have stayed hidden for a bit longer. Secrets in Genoa City did not come out because they were safe. Because the time was not right for them to be found out. Tonight the time was right. That changed everything. Secrets in Genoa City were secrets because the timing had not given them away yet. Tonight the timing gave away the secrets in Genoa City. The door to Diane's room was open a bit. Just a tiny bit. It was open enough to make me wonder what was going on inside Diane's room. It was open enough to make me feel like something was not quite right with Diane's room. Jack put his hand on the door frame. He was already feeling uneasy. The room was too perfect. Diane liked things away. She was very careful and deliberate about it. It was like she was putting on a show. Diane never left her papers lying around. She never left any clues behind. That is how Diane stayed safe. That is how Diane changed who she was time and time again. And yet, there it was. There was a manila folder on the vanity. It was half hidden under a silk scarf. The corner of the manila folder peeked out. It looked like the manila folder wanted to be found. Jack said to himself that he needs to stop. Jack believed that his privacy was very important. Jack also said to himself that he really trusted this woman. When you break the trust, it will always cause problems. Trust is like that. Once it is broken, it will always leak out. You cannot fix it because once something is broken, it is always broken. Trust is very important. When it is broken, it is always leaked. The man stepped inside the room. The air had a smell of Diane's perfume. It was a smell. This smell always reminded Jack of when he was younger. Then Jack thought that love could fix everything. He was a man who believed in the power of love. That was before he learned that good intentions can sometimes cause a lot of harm. Diane's perfume brought back memories of the man Jack used to be. A man who thought love could solve all his problems. The man reached for the folder because he needed the folder. He wanted to look at the papers that were inside the folder. The folder was very important to him. The first page really made the user's stomach drop. When the user saw the page, it made the user's stomach drop. The first page of the thing the user was reading made the user feel like the user's stomach was dropping. DNA paternity test results. Jack blinked. He read the words again and again. He thought that maybe they would change into something that was not so bad. His fingers got tight around the paper. The Apple Store receipt was still on the table. He was not looking at that. His breath was really shallow now. Jack was looking at the paper in his hand. The words on the paper were still the same. They were still bad news. Jack felt like he had been punched in the gut. His fingers were still tight around the paper. No, he said quietly. No, 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 he kept saying over again. The man turned the page of the book. He was reading a book. He flipped the page to see what was on the next page of the book. Names, dates, medical identifiers. Then something happened that changed everything he thought he knew about the world. The line that was drawn was the one thing that shattered all of his thoughts and ideas. This line was the point where everything he knew fell apart. The line was what shattered everything he thought he knew. Probability of paternity, 99.98%. But not his name. Jack's heart was really pounding against his ribs as he looked at the document again. He was getting desperate. He felt frantic. Jack thought to himself that there had to be some kind of mistake in the document. Maybe someone made an error when they were typing it up. Maybe it was just a misprint. Jack looked at the document again, hoping he would find a mistake in the document. The document was really bothering Jack. Kyle's name was there. Diane's was there. But the alleged biological father. It wasn't Jack Abbott. The room seemed to tilt. I felt like the whole room was moving. It was really scary. The room seemed to tilt. I had to hold on to something so I did not fall. The room seemed to tilt. Everything looked weird. Jack slowly sat down on the edge of the bed. He was holding a paper. His hands were shaking. He thought about all the times he had with Kyle. He remembered every fight they had, every time Kyle made him feel proud, every time he smiled at Kyle. Jack thought about all the times he called Kyle my son. He did it without thinking twice about it. Jack was thinking about all these things with Kyle. It was really getting to him. Had it all been a lie? No, Jack said again, this time louder. He was really angry. He did not want to believe it. Kyle is my son, Jack said. He has to be my son, Jack said again. The door creaked softly behind him. He heard the door of the house creak softly as he walked away from the house. The sound of the door was really soft. Diane completely stopped moving when she saw what the man was holding in his hands. For a short moment the mask came off. That was all that Jack needed to know. Jack had what he was looking for now. Diane, he said. His voice was really calm. You could tell he was angry. What is this thing? She walked across the room slowly, like if she moved too fast it would be too much for Jack. Jack, please let me tell you what is going on. Explain, he said. He got up from his seat, the paper in his hand got all crumpled. Explain why I have these DNA results that say Kyle might not be my son, he asked, looking really upset. The DNA results were saying something that he did not want to hear. He was holding the paper with the DNA results. It said Kyle might not be his child, the child he thought was his. Her eyes filled up away. These were tears, or so it seemed. Maybe she was just really good at pretending to cry. With Diane you could never be sure what was real and what was not. The woman told him that she never meant for him to find out what was going on in this way. She said it like she was really sorry that he had to find out like that. The woman said that she had wanted to tell him herself. Somehow he found out before she could say anything to him. She said, I never meant for you to find out this way, and she looked really upset. That was it. That is wrong. There is a mistake with that. The thing that was said is not correct. The information is not right. That information is wrong. Just this way. Jack laughed. It was an weird laugh. He said, so it is really true. About the thing that people were talking about, it is true. Diane swallowed hard. She said, I did not know for sure about that then. What do you mean by when? Jack said loudly. Was it back when Kyle was born, or even before that, when Kyle was a baby inside his mom? You remember that time, right? You looked me in the eye and said Kyle was my son. Silence. The kind of thing that really screams at you. Jack stepped back like she had hit him. You let me take care of him. You let me make my life about being his dad. You let me raise him and make me think that being his father was who I was. Diane said that she loved this person a lot. She really meant it. Diane still loves this person. That does not answer the question, Jack said quickly. Whose child is Kyle really? Diane's eyes looked down at the floor. Diane did not want to look up. The floor was all that Diane could see now. Jack felt that something inside of him broke totally. He felt it happen. It was like something inside of Jack just snapped. The feeling was very strange for Jack. He told me to say it. I think he is right. He deserves to know what is going on. He deserves that much from me, so I should say it. She closed her eyes. She just let her eyes close. Everything went dark. The world outside did not matter to her at that moment. Her eyes were closed. Victor Newman. The name hit me like a gunshot. It was such a shock when I heard the name. The name is what really got to me. I did not expect to hear the name all. The name just came out of nowhere. It hit me like a gunshot. Jack took a step back. He could not believe what he was hearing. It made him really angry. Victor Newman. He started laughing. It was not a happy laugh. It was a laugh. You are telling me that the man who has been trying to hurt me my whole life might actually be Kyle's dad? Diane said it happened one night. It was a mistake. We were both really angry and feeling down at the time. You had a relationship with the person I hate the most, Jack yelled. He was really upset. Then you came back to me. Let me think that Kyle was my son. She said, I did not know for sure. I really thought the baby was yours, Victor, and I had some doubts. I ignored them. I wanted a family with Victor. I so badly. The baby was something Victor I wanted. Jack said, so you lied, in a calm voice, but you could tell he was not happy. He did not sound upset or angry, he just sounded calm. That made it sound even worse. Jack said it like that. So you lied, and that was it. He did not say anything. Diane stepped closer to him. She said, Jack, the fact that Kyle's your son is not just about biology. You are Kyle's father in every way that really matters to Kyle and to you and to the people who care about you and Kyle. Jack's eyes burned. He asked the question that was on his mind. Why do these results exist? He wanted to know about the results. The results were what he was thinking about. She stopped for a moment. Did not know what to do. She hesitated. She said that Victor pushed her to do it. Victor has been keeping an eye on Kyle. He has been asking a lot of questions about Kyle. Victor suspected something was going on. She needed to figure out what was really happening before Victor found out and used it against them, against Kyle and the people Victor has been watching, including Kyle. That really stopped Jack cold. He just did not know what to do. Jack was completely taken aback by what happened. It stopped Jack in his tracks. He wanted to know if Kyle is aware of this. Does Kyle have any idea about it? He asked if Kyle knows what is going on. Diane shook her head fast. No. Jack cannot. Jack, please do not do that. It would really hurt Jack. Destroy Jack. Jack turned away, running his hand through his hair. His chest hurt much, it felt like he could not get enough air. Now every memory of Kyle played out in a way. Kyle's bad temper, Kyle's ambition, the complicated way Kyle dealt with power. Victor's shadow was over the place now. It seemed like Victor's shadow was suddenly everywhere you looked. What will happen when Victor decides to claim him? Jack asked in a voice. Diane flinched. She said, that is why I never told Diane's friend about it. Diane just never told you. Jack looked at her again. This time the tears fell down her face. You took away my ability to make a decision. You took away what was really going on with the situation, my truth, the things that were really happening to me, my truth. She said that she was trying to protect me. She whispered this to me. I could tell that she really meant it when she said she was trying to protect me. Jack shook his head slowly. No, he said. You were trying to protect yourself from getting hurt. The weight of all these things was really getting to Kyle. He had to deal with the love, the lies and the years that were gone forever. Kyle was not a kid anymore. He was a man, with a family that needed him, a future that he wanted to make good, and a legacy that had just been torn to pieces before anyone even knew what was really going on with the legacy. The love and the lies were still affecting him. Jack said this quietly. He was feeling pretty lost. I do not know who I am anymore, Jack said. He was thinking about his friend Kyle. Jack did not know what his place is in Kyle's life. Diane was trying to touch him. She really wanted to get to the man. Diane stretched out her hand to grab the man. The man stepped away from where he was standing. He just turned around. Stepped away. He said that he needs time. The truth needs time too. Secrets like this one do not stay hidden in this town. The truth and secrets like this one will come out eventually. This town is not a place where secrets like this one can stay buried. As Jack walked out, Diane fell onto the bed. Started crying. She was really upset because she knew what Jack had already figured out. That something was very wrong. Diane was crying hard because she knew that Jack already knew the truth about what was going on with them. This DNA bomb wasn't just about Kyle's paternity. It was about power. So when Victor Newman found out that Jack Abbott knew what was really going on, the city of Genoa City was going to change. Victor Newman was not a man to mess with. Now that Jack Abbott had this information, things were going to get really bad for some people in Genoa City. The fact that Jack Abbott knew the truth was a problem for Victor Newman. Whose child is Kyle? Biology might say one thing. I think biology has a lot to tell us about this. Biology is a subject that can be very interesting. The thing is, biology might say one thing, but we have to consider what biology is actually telling us. But war was about to decide everything. Jack does not remember how he got to the Abbott mansion. He is trying to think about it. He just cannot recall how he ended up at the Abbott mansion. The Abbott mansion is a big house and Jack is very confused. He recalled the feeling of the steering wheel pressing into his palms. The steering wheel was really digging into his palms. He stopped at a light and he did not know how long he had been sitting there. He thought about Kyle. It felt like the name Kyle did not mean what it used to mean to him. The name Kyle just felt different now. When he walked into the house, it was really quiet. The silence in the house was very loud. Every corner of this house has memories of Kyle. I remember Kyle running down the stairs when he was a kid. He was laughing loudly. Then I think about Kyle as a teenager. He would slam doors. Get really mad at Jack. Kyle was furious with Jack. They did not really know why they were fighting at the time. Now I see Kyle as a man standing in this very room. Kyle wants people to respect him. Kyle wants to be in control. Kyle wants to have his place. Jack had always thought that those moments said something about Jack. He believed they were like a mirror to Jack, showing him what Jack was really like inside. The ghost of Victor Newman was standing in every one of them. The ghost of Victor Newman was really there, you could see it. It was the ghost of Victor Newman. It was in all of them. Jack poured himself a drink. He did not bother sitting down. The glass shook a little in his hand. He had not felt this loss since the tough times in his life, like when he was dealing with addiction and people betrayed him and he lost everything that he thought made him who he was, everything that defined Jack. Only this was worse. This was not about Jack losing something. This was about finding out that he might never have had it to begin with. He was trying to figure out if he really had it, and it turned out that he might never have had it all. The thing he thought he had, it might not have been his in the place, and that was a hard thing for him to accept about the thing he thought was his. Kyle wasn't just his son. Kyle was his redemption. Now Jack did not know where he stood. He was really confused about the situation, and Jack was not sure what to do next. Jack just felt lost. Jack had no idea what was going to happen to Jack. The man's phone made a sound. Kyle. Jack looked at the screen for a long time until the screen went dark. He just kept looking at the screen until it went dark. The screen finally went dark. He was not able to answer. Not yet. He just could not do it. Every single instinct that he had was screaming at him that if he heard Kyle's voice, something bad would happen and it would be impossible to fix. Across town, Kyle Abbott was sitting at Society. He had no idea that his whole life was already starting to fall apart. He was just sitting there. Really, everything was changing for Kyle Abbott. His entire world was. He did not even know it yet. He felt it all day that something was not right. Jack had not returned his calls. Diane had cancelled dinner with no explanation. Even Summer had seemed distracted and guarded, like she was holding something back from him, and that made him feel really uneasy about the situation with Summer and the others, including Jack and Diane. Kyle thought that stress was the reason. The city of Genoa City was a place that was always full of chaos. Genoa City was a city where people were used to dealing with all sorts of things happening. That is how life was in Genoa City. There was something that was bothering me. This thing was really heavy. Victor Newman was standing at the bar. He looked at Kyle over the top of his glass. Victor Newman liked to keep an eye on Kyle. Victor had always kept an eye on him. He would often see what the man was doing. The man was always on Victor's mind. Victor had always watched the man. Kyle used to believe that the way Victor acted was because of a rivalry between them. Maybe it was because Victor did not like him. Perhaps it was just Victor's need to have power and control over everything. Now Kyle notices that Victor looks at him in a different way. It is like Victor is thinking hard about something when he looks at Kyle. His gaze is almost personal, like he is trying to figure Kyle out. Victor raised his glass a bit when Kyle saw him. Kyle noticed that Victor was looking at him, and Victor raised his glass slightly. Victor was trying to get Kyle's attention, and Kyle finally saw him. Kyle nodded back. He was really stiff about it. The man did not know why his stomach was all tied up in knots. His stomach had these knots. He had no idea what was causing them. The man was really confused about what was going on with his stomach. Back at the Abbott mansion, Jack finally sat down. The DNA results were really getting to him. It felt like something was pushing down on his chest. He could not stop thinking about what Diane said to him. Her words just kept playing over and over in his head. The DNA results were still on his mind. Biology does not erase love. This is something that people should remember when they think about the people they care about. Biology is a part of who we are, but it is not the only thing that defines us. Love is what really matters, and biology does not have the power to take that away from us. Biology is a fact, but love is what makes us human, and that is what is important. We should focus on the love we have for each other. Not let biology get in the way. Love is stronger than biology. That is something we should always remember. Biology does not erase love. Jack really wanted to think that was true. Jack had to believe that. It was something Jack wanted to be real. Genoa City was a place that could really